Alright guys, we are back again. We're going to finish up 8.3 this week. And then you'll have the weekend to enjoy some more time with your family, because I'm sure you're not getting enough of that. But enjoy your Easter weekend. Hopefully you get an Easter basket or some sort of goodie to help hold you over until we are all not on lockdown, so to speak. So let's just jump into it. All right, so finishing up 8.3, we're going to take a look at another thing that has to do with graphing quadratic equations. All right, finding minimum and maximum values. So I can, determine the minimum or maximum value of a quadratic equation. So if you remember from last time, we looked at finding the axis of symmetry. All right, and we also looked at finding the vertex. And then just like a brief bit of graphing, but not too heavy on that. So the minimum and maximum values of quadratic functions. All right, we're going to take a look at the y value this time. So it's going to be the same process that we did before. But let's take a look at what this has to start. So the y-coordinates of the vertex of the graph, function of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c is the, all right, this one is maximum, the first blank, all right, of the function when a is less than 0. So when a is a negative number, or the minimum of the function when a is greater than 0. So when a is positive. And we'll take a look at that. We're going to make a nice little table that will illustrate what we're dealing with. So when a is greater than 0, when a is positive, the graph opens up. So that means you have a u. So that means we have a minimum. And the sketch of the graph, it looks like this. So then you can probably guess, there's only two parabolas that we're worried about right now. All right, minimum or maximum. So if this one's minimum, then when we go down, we have to have a maximum. All right, and then this one looks like the St. Louis Arch, if you've ever been there. Okay, so again, all right, we're going to use the opposite of b over 2a to find the axis of symmetry. Then we're going to plug answer in to find the y coordinate. All right, last time we found the vertex. So this time we're going to be thinking about whether it's a min or a max, and then what the y value is at that min or max. Okay, so we're just looking at it a different way. Okay, so for this first example, all right, we're going to tell whether the function f of x equals negative 4x squared minus 24x minus 19 has a minimum or maximum value, and then we're going to find the value. So to start, we're going to take a look at what's in front of our squared term. So because all right, negative 4 is less than 0, okay, we have a maximum value. Okay, so that one should be straightforward as to how you figure it out. Because it's a negative, all right, we're going to be opening down. So that gives us a max. So now we need to do the opposite of b over 2a. All right. So the opposite of b, so the opposite of negative 24 is positive 24. All right. And then we have 2 times negative 4. So I'm just going to keep working that math. So 24 over negative 8. 24 divided by negative 8 is going to give me negative 3. So we need to plug this into equation. All right, so we're going to plug that negative 3 back into the original function to figure out what our y-coordinate is. All right, so it's going to be negative 4 times negative 3 squared minus 24 times negative 3 minus 19. Okay, so negative 3 squared gives me 9, and then 9 times negative 4 is negative 36. Negative 24 times negative 3 gives me positive 72. All right, and then minus 19 stays the same. All right, so negative 36 plus 72 is positive 36. 36 minus 19 gives me 17. All right, so I'm just going to put all this together and package it in an easier to understand way. So we have a max at y equals 17. All right, and that's it. That's our answer. So if you need to go back, go ahead and go back or rewatch that problem. We're going to go ahead and move on to a word problem. All right, show a little bit of real life application. Okay, so we're going to read this problem. So this says the suspension cables between the two towers of the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan, go Bucks, form a parabola that can be modeled by y equals 0.000098 x squared minus 0.37x plus 552, where x and y are measured in feet. So this is a pretty long bridge. It's almost a mile. It's more than a mile long, it looks like. All right, what is the height of the cable above the water at its lowest point? All right, so we're going to try to find how high above the river this cable is. It's going to be somewhere in this area, but we still need to do the math so that we know the answer precisely, or as close as we can get. So we're going to start with the opposite of b over 2a. All right, so b here is negative 0.37. So it's the opposite of that, so it's going to be positive 0.37. And then we're going to divide that by 2 times 0.000098. Okay. And I would just punch this in exactly. If you have to, put the denominator in its own set of parentheses. So you can type it in like that. And you should get, once you punch that in, 1,888 roughly. I rounded it to the nearest, I guess, foot or whatever, just for the sake of not having to worry about rounding throughout the rest of the problem. All right, so now we need to plug this in. All right, so we're going to, plug this back into our equation. So it becomes 0.000098 times 1888 squared. All right, minus 0.37 times the 1888. And then it's going to be plus 552. Okay, so I'll give you a couple seconds to type that all in. I've already found the answer, but I'll let you punch that in, and we're going to sit here in awkward silence while you do that. Okay, awkward silence over. I don't like that. So once you punch that in exactly like that, you should get an answer that's roughly 203 feet. So that is how far above the water the cable is at its lowest point. Okay? So if you have any questions, all right, I would go back and look that over again, or maybe you just punch something in wrong. I would check that. But you now have 2 try-it-yourself problems, all right, to do. I will let you guys do those on your own, and of course post the answers, and then we'll come back for one last example. Okay, so hopefully you checked your answers to the try it yourself and got the answers correct, presumably. We're going to take a look at this last one. So a group of friends is launching water balloons. The function f of t equals negative 16t squared plus 80t plus 5 represents the height in feet of the first water balloon t seconds after it's launched. The height of the second water balloon t seconds after it is launched is shown in the graph. Okay, which water balloon went higher? So I'm going to look at the graph first. All right, this is the path of the second balloon. Okay, and I'm going to figure out where it was at its highest. So it doesn't tell us explicitly, but by looking at the graph, okay, on our y-axis, that's the height. It looks like every block is 25 feet in the air. So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, and this is, I would say, around 130 feet. So that's the height of the second balloon. We need to find the height of the third balloon. Okay, so because we have a negative 16 in front of our squared term, all right, we know that we have to have a max. So I still need to go through the process of the negative b over 2a. I'm going to drill that. All right. So the opposite of b, the opposite of positive 80 is negative 80. All right, and then 2 times negative 16. So I get negative 80 over a negative 32. All right, 2 negatives make a positive. And once you punch 80 divided by 32 into your calculator, all right, you get 2.5. So now we need to plug this in. All right, and we're going to plug this into the original equation. All right, so I get negative 16, all right, times 2.5 squared plus 80 times 2.5 plus 5. Okay, you can plug this straight into your calculator if you have a fancy calculator, or you could type it into Desmos. It'll give you a straight line up and down, but you'll still get the answer. But once you plug this in, you end up getting 105 feet. So it looks like, when we compare our answers, the second balloon went higher. So that's it. You have completed 8.3 now. So, real quick, I'm gonna take you out and I'm gonna actually show you my beta fish in case you missed me so much. You can see my desk setup. It's a pretty cool setup if I do say so myself. And now here's my beta fish. His name is Julio. My friend Julia from college gave me the suggestion, and it stuck. He's pretty cute, if I do say so myself. Hey, buddy, say hi to everyone. Well, I hope. Oh shoot, he's angry. All right, so hopefully, notes were pretty easy for today. Shoot me an email with any questions that you have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure you do your homework in all your other classes, not just mine, even though mine's the most important. But have a great Easter weekend, and I'll talk to you guys whenever.